Trading days, January 23rd, 2016. We'll look at this daily chart of the SP 500, and I'll just blow it up a bit here first. And when we do blow it up, we see this this big spike low, this doji on January the 20th, and this certainly looks like a primary cycle low. It was in the 21st week, so at the long end of a normal primary cycle. And note that it was only 2 trading days away from this January 15th date. So this date we've had on these charts since late August, September time frame. Actually, these 3 dates where we're trying to forecast the next primary cycle. So we're 2 trading days away, not bad. It was 3 trading days away from the Mercury inferior conjunction. I've mentioned that a couple of times. I'll come back to Mercury in a minute. There are 2 important dates coming up, human dates. January 27th is the FOMC announcement. That's 2 o'clock that afternoon. That's Eastern Standard Time. And February the 5th will be the next employment situation report in the state. So that's 2 important dates coming up. These dates where we get announcements from central banks, I mean, just look what happened here. A lot of this move certainly got started by the European Central Bank, really just job owning. And then we had a rise in crude prices based on nothing concrete that I could find. At any rate, we're in a period, sometimes we get in a situation we don't have enough signals, and then other times we have too many, and this is one of those times. We have too many signals. Looking at Mercury, I mentioned it went retrograde on January the 5th, and Mercury retrograde is often, that period of time, is often called the trickster. Miscommunications, communications get screwed up, just things don't flow properly, and they often then correct themselves when Mercury turns direct. And I mentioned the last couple of weeks Mercury was going to make a couple of important aspects, and they occurred. The first one, Mercury was going to translate the Uranus-Pluto square, and Mercury squared Uranus on that date, January the 20th, the date of the potential primary cycle low. Certainly looks like it at this point. And then on the 22nd, this green bar, Mercury conjuncted Pluto. Mercury is now going to turn direct on Monday, January 25th, and then it's going to translate these same 2 planets again, although this time Mercury is going to be in direct motion. I should say that we call it retrograde and it's moving backwards. It isn't really moving backwards, only appears to be moving backwards, so it's an illusion, and everything about maybe Mercury when it's retrograde, we could look at it as illusion. And on January the 30th, we're going to have Mercury conjuncting Pluto when Mercury is going in direct motion. And then on the 31st, Mercury is going to square Uranus. So February 1st, or early in that week, could be a good day because of Mercury. There's a lot of other aspects. I'll just mention there's also a lot of Fibonacci time cycles, and I'm going to include them in the text because there's just going to be a lot of dates. And I will also mention that we get a primary cycle low, and this is not definitely a primary cycle low. But if it is, we often get a pullback near the second week. If you look over here, the last primary cycle low, this didn't even 1, 2, 3, 4. It kind of pulled back in the first week. So we've only had 2 up days, but during this next week and certainly the first week in February, we should look at a potential pullback here. It could come back and try and retest this low. If it ever got lower, then it could really do some damage. But just be prepared for volatility and potential pullback here. That's all I'm going to say. All the other information is going to be in the text of the blog. There's going to be a lot of dates. Thanks for listening.